And this is in the series of the first page of great books. And this is a book called Ideal by Ayn Rand. This is a book which she wrote before the great famous book of hers, Fountainhead. But instead of reading the first page, I'll read a excerpt from that to give a feel of the novel so that you can go into the novel and the play. She wrote this book as a novel and a play. This is an excerpt and it is not a spoiler. Morrison Pickens had seen one of her pictures last evening. Her pictures last evening. Movie. He had sat for an hour and a half without moving. And if breathing had required attention, he would have forgotten to breathe. From the screen, a huge white face had looked at him. A face with a mouth one wished, one could wish to kiss. And eyes that made one wonder. And eyes that made one wonder. A wonder which was pain. Just what it was they were seeing. He felt as if there was something deep in his brain behind everything he thought and everything he was, which he did not know, but she knew, and he wished he did, and wondered whether he could ever know it, and should he if he could, and should he if he could, and why he wished it. He thought that she was just a woman and an actress, but he thought that but he thought this only before he entered the theater and after he left it. While he looked at her on the screen, while he looked at her on the screen, he thought differently. He thought that she was not a human being at all, not the kind of human being he had seen around him all his life, but a kind no one ever knew and should. When he looked at her, it made him feel guilty, but also made him feel young and clean and very proud. When he looked at her, he understood why ancient peoples had made statues of gods in the image of man. No one knew for certain who Kegonda was. And I'll stop here. I hope this was interesting. This is the Ayn Rand's magical writing, vision. What is it? What is this ideal? What is the ideal and the practical? People say, no, oh, that's not practical. I've heard this all my life. Oh, that's not practical. Even the people who are, acting as if they're very idealistic, I see them practically doing nothing. And then they rant. Now they come, the point comes. They rant against all the mankind. And they mimic Ayn Rand. And in some interviews might have said that, and they take that. They don't go into the books. They don't read all the books, especially they don't read Dim Hypothesis, which I believe is a peak. I did not pick off her higher to Ayn Rand's philosophy to the peak. With extraordinary research of 50 years between them, they spent 100 years of thought. And all these objectivists and leftists and spiritualists, they have no idea. And then still remains an unknown ideal. Capitalism still remains an unknown ideal. If it was ideal, this world would have been practical, right? It is practical. Ideal is a practical. So there's another beautiful sentence in Ideal, which is one of my favorite sentences. She says, I will just sell the sentence. Those who only dream and don't think people like Ayn Rand don't exist, they do. They very obviously do. Most of them are on strike. I have met only such great people in my life, including three in my college. They're all around us. We don't see them. We don't listen to them. We don't learn from them. We don't learn from the past books. Who will educate them? We must educate them. We must first learn ourselves. We must learn, educate. We must be humble students of the universe, not of Ayn Rand or anybody. We must take that lead. These are all leads. This is just my few reflections from the little I know, but I love.